How's it going, guys? So this is our new Meet the Team series. I have been requested to talk about who I am, what I do at Kaomi Marketing, and a couple questions to get to know me a bit better. So firstly, this is my baby girl, Lily. She joins me on the majority of my calls, and she likes to be in the action. So without further ado, who am I? I am actually the head of agency for Kaomi Marketing. And I've had the privilege of working with this stellar group of paid media and performance media individuals. We are essentially a paid media and performance media agency. A typical day for me is very varied. I'm managing a lot of people, a lot of different departments, a lot of process, a lot of individual procedures, and a lot of flux, dealing with, issues as they arise and trying to get ahead of them, dealing with clients, and just day-to-day management of meetings, leadership meetings, individual one-on-one meetings, coaching meetings, client meetings, and everything in between. So it varies day-to-day and week-to-week, to quite frank with my position. It's definitely not, static. And it really is dynamic. It changes kind of where I need to be. Definitely the freedom. I would say the freedom of autonomy and just being given the space to be yourself, right? If you need to go and walk your dog or you've got something going on, Kaomi is super accommodating. They really stand by their ethos of having culture and people first, and I really can feel this in this company. And what are my other loves? I would say the systems and the intelligence of some of the processes that are being utilized by management, by SEO, and by PPC. Those really stand out to me as leaders in the industry and doing brilliant work for our clients that the majority of agencies are not doing, and in-house brands are not doing either. Wow, that's a tough one. What do I hate? There ain't many, and that's just a genuinely honest answer. But I would say having tough meetings with people. Like if someone isn't doing a good job, of kind of have a chat with them about it and figure out what's wrong. That's the first thing. I don't really want to be calling people out. I don't want to be having hard conversations with people if they maybe slipped up or messed up, and it happens. It's totally normal, but those just aren't the best conversations for me. Number two, tough conversation that I hate, upset clients. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes. And having to deal with irate clients is not ideal, and trying to get them back happy and on our side is very important. We do that, and currently it's very minimal, but obviously in agencies and in brands there will be occasions where that doesn't work out. I've got a clear one. It was the first one I ever made. So I was working for an agency, can't talk about who they are, but essentially it was a client, a gambling client, and one of the keywords that we were using in paid media, I had made it a broad keyword, not a phrase keyword, an exact match keyword. Some of you will understand that or not. And it was for a famous person, Bruce Lee, and it was meant to have something appended to it, so it was specific to the service or the offering that was meant to be with that client, and I just said Bruce Lee on broad. And essentially what ended up happening was anyone who searched for Bruce Lee's movies, Bruce Lee's one punch knockout, whatever it was, totally irrelevant, and it kind of chewed a lot of budget. I was accountable for that, and obviously luckily nothing came of it because the budgets were huge, but it was a big mistake from my side. I learned from it very quickly. We all have those oh shit moments, and I felt really bad. I was also extremely nervous at that stage. I was in the beginning of my career, but you need those and you need to learn from them, and I definitely did. I never made that mistake again. First party data for me, I think that's going to be a big one. I think with the prevalence of third party tracking become a problem, and obviously it's ubiquitous everywhere. They wanting obviously Google and the bigger boys are looking to protect data as they say. There will be a huge shift towards first-party data and the value of first-party data, meaning that you capturing data in a CRM or on a website with a login, etc., will become a lot better than remarketing information or third-party reselling of information via whatever it is, a platform or any kind of company who makes use of that information. It is very effective, don't get me wrong, but I think first-party data will become more prevalent. What else? Another latest trend. I think the AI technology in SEO and PPC will continue to improve at an exponential rate. I think that will become a massive proponent for how the landscape looks in the next year or two. And I look forward to seeing how that kind of plays out and how humans and everything in between can kind of work with that, not work against it. One of the best ads I've ever seen. Essentially, it was a split screen between the Honda Civic, which is like your normal day-to-day, and then you've got your R-Type, which is like the racing version or souped up version of your Honda Civic. And essentially, it actually came up with a novel concept of interactivity. So on the website, you would be able to press R for R-Type, and it used to play this video loop, and it was like a parallel loop of a man and his kids. And in the Civic, it would show this video loop of him, going day to day, dropping his kids off at school, going to the shop, going home to his wife, and so on. And if you pressed R at any of those points in the video, it would show you the parallel version of a reality where he was driving the R-Type, and it showed like the edgier version of the same guy who was at nighttime, he was racing, he was dicing, it was kind of like very edgy and scary, and it was such a clever use of interactivity, parallel video usage, and I thought it was exceptional. Best ad I've seen. I'm a massive Harry Potter fan and Lord of the Rings, as I said, huge nerd. So it would have to be one of those. I would definitely hand those down to my kids. Poverty through education. Better education, more access to education. Education gives empowerment. Empowerment gives the ability to get jobs. Jobs give the ability to have an income, and income can change poverty status. So that would be my dream. So thank you so much. Nice meeting everyone, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Cheers.